I bet you guys are sitting there saying, well, okay, Ted the Speed Learner, you're going to actually cover this book? Not tonight. Not tonight. You say, why not? Well, first of all, I just started reading it myself. Secondly, more importantly, it's because of what they left out of the book. So they go, they left something out of the book? Yep. I read chapter 1, and immediately I find myself, are you kidding? Here's what happened. I read chapter 1, and James Rickards says, well, the federal government took over this used car dealership to start this super secret government laboratory. He doesn't give you a single detail about this used car dealership. And I think that's a big mistake, because that's a way you and I can be related to the story. Okay? So, you say, well, we all know Ted the Speed Learner. If he finds something that's lacking, he'll find it. I did. The used car lot that they're referring to in this book was the Wolfe Motor Company. It was originally located at 8621 Georgia Avenue in Silver Springs, Maryland. If you were to look at that place today, all you'd see is a parking lot. But back in the 1920s, Wolfe Motor Company opened up. Now, I don't know exactly when that was. I have actually contacted the Silver Springs, Maryland Historical Society to see if I can get information on this. And their preliminary stuff coming back to me wasn't very much. But they're looking into this, and if you guys happen to know when this business actually opened up, let me know in the comments below. I think my audience would love to know this. Okay? So what was sold at the Wolfe Motor Company? Well, first of all, we don't even know Mr. Wolfe's first name. We don't even know how old he was when he started the business. Those are things I'd like to know. Okay? And we don't know what kind of financial troubles he had while he was operating the business, but I can give you some idea of what he might have gone through. Okay? Now, what kind of cars were sold at this Wolfe Motor Company? Well, I found a picture and I found out. This car lot sold Studebakers, a car named an Erskine, okay, and another car called Chevrolet. Now, a lot of people know what a Studebaker is, and a lot more people know what a Chevrolet car is. But an Erskine, they may not know. And I will cover this in a sequel video as soon as I get some of the answers I'm looking for. Because I don't just want to know who Mr. Wolfe was, as far as his name. I want to know how old he was when he started his business. More importantly, I want to know how big his car lot was. Was it a little small establishment? Was it a great big auto mall? Nobody knows, apparently. But we're going to find out. And then I want to know what kind of hardships he went through, which may have ultimately led to his losing of his car dealership. I bet he had dreams of retiring in the thing. Of course, the government ended that real quick. So, well, let me give you some idea of what might have happened to him. Okay? He probably opened this business up in the 1920s, and what happened was that the stock market crash of 29 hit him. Okay, remember 1929, this big stock market crash? Well, that probably flattened his sales pretty quick. So here he was with a mass dose of automobile inventory and having a real tough time selling it. He not only had to endure the Great Depression, but he also had to endure the Dust Bowl. Now, here he comes out of the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, and finally, he starts to see a little bit of profit. And he's thinking, man, my luck is finally changing. And guess what happens? World War II. December 7th, 1941, World War II begins. He's going, oh no, not another disaster. So now, he has to fight for every ounce of motor oil he can get his hands on, because he has to lubricate the cars in order to sell them and also to fix them, because I'm sure he's fixing these cars as well as selling them. He has to get the tires somehow. And then on top of all of that, he has to get gasoline for these vehicles. Can't take a vehicle on a test drive without gasoline. Can you imagine how hard that was? I can just about imagine the financial struggles he had that ultimately led to his demise. But not really his demise, but the demise of his business. All those employees he had to let go. A car dealership he no longer had because the government took it over. It's probably a pretty tough life for him. So, now you say, well, how would that be related to this? Well, the book is entitled Currency Wars. Well, gee, I guess Wolfe Motors actually lost the currency wars. After all, he went through the stock market crash, the Dust Bowl, the Great Depression, and then the beginnings of World War II. Talk about a humongous loss. Wasn't a good time to start up a business like that. That would have made the whole thing human-related to us. And I think that James Rickards, the guy who wrote this, I think he should be ashamed of himself by not including all these details. Because like I said, if he wanted the human relation factor, that would have been perfect. Maybe if he had taken some time to have dug up some newspapers and read about the dealership and told us about that, we would have been a little more interested in the book. Especially women. Women go for stories about the hardships and struggles of something like that. So, what I'd like for you people to do is hopefully help me fill in the blanks. How big was the dealership? What was the guy's first name? How old was he when he started the business? When exactly did he start the business? What kind of hardships he had to endure during this Great Depression and early World War II? I'd like to know these kind of things. I'm sure you would too. So, I hope you guys can find the answers and leave them in the comments down below. Make me a video response. I don't care. I want to know those answers. And I'm sure you do too. So, this is Ted the Speed Learner signing off. I will tell you more in a future video. Stay tuned.